Hey, welcome back. We're here again at 5784 Amelia Springs Circle, and we were in Dominion Valley earlier this morning showing new buyers some homes. And that process kind of reminded me, I know you love to hear my story, but that process this morning kind of reminded me of, this was years ago, showing buyers properties. And we had been out, my gosh, this was probably, like 3 weekends in a row. And late on a Saturday afternoon, I remember my buyer looked at me and said, Ray, we really do appreciate all the time that you've spent with us. And we have seen some lovely, lovely homes. But I'm afraid that we wouldn't be able to qualify or afford to buy any one of those properties.
No.
Yeah,
That's horrible.
It was terrible.
All that time, 3 weekends?
Yeah,
No.
yeah, true story.
Oh, well, I'm so glad that we don't do that anymore.
Yes, me too.
We do things very differently with our clients. In this crazy market, we have to make sure that they're super prepared.
Yes,
that's the
very
only
competitive.
Way. Very competitive. No homes for sale, so that means everybody's trying to jump on them. So what we're going to do today is to explain to you how we prepare our buyers for this crazy market.
Yeah, let's get started.
Oh, yes. The first one is the buyer consultation. And that's when we just meet with our clients and we really go through what their needs are, what their wants are, what their family situation is, timeline. We go through about everything. And I think the purpose of doing that is to really not waste so much time. A lot of people start their searches, we know, on Zillow and Redfin.
There's so many of them.
There is, but the problem is if you don't know that neighborhood, that school district or whatever, you're just really just shooting a very broad range. If you know the areas, that's one thing, but I think that's where we bring value. We really try to narrow down for them what it is that they're more than likely looking for.
Yeah, and during that conversation, of course, that initial consultation, one of the first things that we really bring, I think, to the attention of the buyer is the need to make sure that they're qualified, and at what levels are they qualified. Certainly in today's market, we see buyers that pay cash for properties, but the majority do have a need to get a loan. So that is an important step that we take right up front. We have lenders that we work with all the time. And what we try to do is we try to match the type of property that our buyer is looking at, maybe the lender's personality with the buyer's personality. And sometimes the buyer does bring with them, probably from a prior relationship, maybe they bought a home in the past, they bring a lender to our attention. And at that stage, we try to make sure that we're all involved in the conversation so that we can, again, update the buyer with any changes that have perhaps occurred. I mean, certainly the lender talks about the qualification. I mean, everybody's interested in their monthly payment, but we also talk about the different loan programs that are available to them, lower down payments, larger down payments, and certainly interest rates are a big factor these days, right?
Yes, it's a big concern for everyone. So that's why it's so important.
Yeah, so
for sure. And during that process with the lender, I'm sure, they go through a lot of things. It's the purchase price, how much down payment, like Ray said, you could do anything from 3% with some types of loans. Some are 0 down payment, all the way up to as much as you're comfortable with. But in addition to that, there are also closing costs. And these closing costs are things that include title searches on that property, legal fees, admin fees, property taxes.
I mean, it could be as much as 2 to 2.5% of the purchase price,
right? And it's also different. It's not blanket. And that's why it's so important for individuals to meet with the lender and with us as well to help them figure out these costs and really what's incurred. And in addition to those costs, there are also other expenses that you kind of have to pay out of pocket.
That's a great point.
So you're saving up your down payment. You're saving up your, closing costs. And you're also saving up for inspections. And
property inspections,
if you're lucky
starting to see those again.
Yeah, if you're lucky enough to get a home inspection through on your contract, on your sales offer, then what that means is that you have to pay for a home inspection.
I mean, there's $800 right there, right?
That's about $800. You also have to pay if you're buying a piece of property out in the country, well and septic as well.
And add on another $700.
That's right. That's right. And then you also have to think about the appraisal. Most mortgages will require an appraisal on that property.
And prepayment is generally essential for that.
You have to pay for that upfront. And the last one are things that you might not even think about, but moving costs. So you're talking about moving all your furniture from into your new home. How much is that going to cost? It's anywhere from like $800 to what? $10,000?
$800. Is that like 2 kids in a wagon?
I don't know. I have to check that one. Okay. So I think those are definite costs that you have to think about saving up before you continue in the process.
Point. And then I think probably last not least is the competitive market analysis, right? We've talked about that before in previous videos. Certainly we've talked about that with the seller, but it's also important to discuss that with the buyer as well. As we were looking here in Dominion Valley, we want to make sure that our buyers this morning knew what to expect price-wise, right? Correct. They wanted to know what was available in the marketplace, what had sold recently in the marketplace, right? And then also what's currently under contract. And it's good for them to understand that in a very competitive marketplace that we're experiencing right now, not a whole lot of negotiation going on in pricing, but we also want to let them know that there are properties that are on the marketplace that are strangely still available that have been way overpriced. And we want to make sure that they're aware that they're not expected to pay those big numbers because, most importantly, other buyers are not going to pay those big numbers for those properties. Just unrealistic, right?
Correct. Right. So I think the bottom line is, in this market, you have to be prepared. And that's what we try to do.
It's really essential.
That's what we try to do for our clients. And what we did for you, even if you're not our clients, is we created a blog. The link is down below, and in there has a handy dandy cheat sheet.
Just like the Blue's Clues, right?
Just like Blue's Clues. Yeah. And it will outline all the things we discussed and all the different costs and what you need to really be prepared in this market.
Well, as always, we hope this information is valuable to you. Certainly subscribe to our YouTube channel, again, our website, and then the blog that we publish every single week. So hope to see you soon. Have a great week.